The next exercise that I'm going to show you is single arm scapular push from the wall. The main driver here is the shoulder blade. So when you do this exercise, I want your mind to connect to the movement of the shoulder blade. What are we trying to experience? We are trying to experience that as you reach and push into the wall, you should feel your shoulder blades move round the rib cage and then go back towards the center. So if you look at me from behind, you would see my shoulder blades wrap around my rib cage and then go back into neutral. Now, what I don't want to see is you retracting and pulling your shoulder blades like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with you doing that, but a lot of my patients that lack these kind of motions in the sagittal plane or lack control in their shoulder blades, they're already in this position and they are unable, I should say, their body avoids getting their shoulder blades wrapped around the rib cage. So they lack that movement. Now, you want the arms to be shoulder height, not high, not low, just shoulder height. Again, depending on my patient, I might change their position of the hand because a lot of my patients, even at 90 degrees, it's quite painful. Like they only have a smaller range. So I bring their arm a little bit lower to a point that they're comfortable with. And that is your entry point. Again, always listen to your body. Never doubt your intuition. Okay? But for the purposes of this exercise, you're going to place your hand at shoulder height. And to do this exercise, you're going to use the heel of your hand to push into the wall, not the tip of the fingers. A common mistake I see with my patients as they do that, they do this. And when they do that, it affects how their shoulder blade moves. And usually what I see is that the shoulder blade flips off the rib cage and lacks that control of wrapping around the rib cage. I tend to like to do with my other hand, something I learned from my patient is that I have them wrap their hand like this because tendency to push, I'm going to show you with this side, because as they push, and if they lack control in their shoulder blade, I see this. When I have their hand wrapped like this, they can feel their body turning, and that will give them a nice cue to keep their body facing forward rather than as they push, turning around. Another thing I do, I have them put a pillow in between their thighs, or you can put a foam roller, a light object, and the whole purpose, and you put them like this, and the whole purpose is that when you push, if you use your hips to move, you will feel that movement, and again it will cue your body to stop compensating. Okay, I would like the elbows to be straight. Now, if they soften a little bit, that's okay. But what I do not want to see is bending. When I see bending, again, this is another compensation I see, and that's the patients, because they lack movement and they're uncomfortable being in this position, the body naturally has a tendency to move them in a different plane. Now, it's not wrong to be there, but for the purpose of this exercise, that's what I'm trying to achieve. So again, hands wrapped around, upright position. So I like to inhale, to feel my scapula wrap around. Exhale back into neutral position. Now, if you find going back and forth is a quite challenge, what I normally have my patients do, I have them hold there for 30 seconds and breathe there. And once they've done that 30 seconds, then I have them reattempt pushing through the heel of hand and relaxing and doing this exercise slowly back and forth. And their body understands the assignment rather than having them do this, having them bring their head forward, having them crunch from their back, having them push their hips back. The body does all of these compensations, and these are the common mistakes I see with patients. This is not a big movement. It's a very tiny movement, but it requires immense amount of that brain muscle connection. And I want you to close your eyes even and feel like your shoulder blade move out to the side and back. The shoulder blade should not, because if you push too hard, your shoulder blade, there's nowhere to go. And given your history of upper body and neck pain, the upper traps and straightest the levator scap muscles will take over and they'll do this. So again, from front, if you had to see me, it would be like this. I'm reaching forward and back to neutral. Reaching forward and back to neutral. And I'm pressing from the heel of my hand, not my fingertips. Once you get comfortable with this movement, the next challenge with this movement is you're going to keep your hand there and you're going to lift the leg of that same side. Now, when I lift the leg of that same side, what you're going to feel, you're going to experience more load in this hand, because when your leg is down, your body weight is supported with the leg. So placing the hand, you're just focusing on movement. Now, to take this further, once the patient has achieved that nice control and movement of the shoulder blades, I have them lift their leg. So now there's more weight on the arm, and I have them do the same motion. Now, as they get comfortable with this motion, then I challenge their hand in different directions, in different positions. So I will go from the front to a little bit to the side, to a little bit out to the side. Now, when your hand is on the wall, you are starting from this position. As you progress, I have them lift their leg. Then I have them bring their leg down and try from this position. Once they get comfortable, I have them do that with their leg lifted. Then go out to the side, have them do that movement again, and then I have them lift their leg and do that movement again. Now, one thing I did notice yesterday in my clinic with a patient of mine, when she did it with her left side, she felt this tension in her forearm. And when I attempted it, I felt the same sensation. So one thing that we did realize is that if I get her hand, instead of having her hand upright like this, if I move her hand a little bit out like that, when her arm is out this way, it really helps with that tension, and everything just goes back to normal sensation. I hope I've covered everything. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. And if I see you in the clinic, you can ask away. All right, take care, bye.